Hello everyone, this is Untitled Chapter, and welcome to a follow-up overview of randomly adding anything. This time we're going to be looking at some of the randomized dimensions in 1.15 as well as some of the later ones, since I just checked prior, and it seems to have gone up to about there, so from here onwards. So yeah, what the mod now adds, besides ores, tools, horse armor, apples, and so on, is portals. So you want a block from any of the different materials, and then you'll always want obsidian and a cauldron when making the rest of these. So pretty much what we want to do is get access to these stones, it seems, for this. I'm pretty sure that applies to each one. So yeah. Which I'm not sure if I haven't covered, I can't quite remember. I may have in the past video. But either way, on the config side of things, which we'll cover real quick before showing the dimensions, there's material number and dimension number that can be tweaked. I'm assuming that's how many, which obviously matches the corresponding materials that it will probably allocate for, still within the randomization. You've got access to debug mode, regenning, I'm assuming of ores or dimensions, or just of any of the things that will apply from the other configs at a guess. And then the naming language is obviously, I'm assuming the default will be English, or whatever you set the game to for your language settings at a guess. I'm not 100% sure there. Otherwise though, there is a dimension config that allows you to witness the ID, the name, the dimension ID, and a bunch of biome related data, such as obviously what biome ID, which in the one I've just spawned in biome dimension 5. You got the biome name, surface builder variant chance, the depth, scale, and temperature will determine quite a bit with the terrain, as well as obviously the weather. You've got the downfall, which I'm assuming is the rain and snow chance at a guess. You've got the watercolor, grass color, foliage color, and then tree-specific information, so whether or not there will be vines, trunks, cocoa beans, pods all underneath it, plains tree-like approach compared to certain others, maybe like a jungle or savanna or something like that, I'm assuming, is why that's there. And you've got a bunch of other things you can change as well. Again, like with the ores, armor, and so on, do be careful on what you tweak. Some things might have been fixed since, but things still could crash or go however which way, so do be careful what you tweak. There is quite a lot of options. I'm assuming a fair amount of these will be the same though with some of these trees. It is a long config, so I'm assuming a fair amount of trees from different materials will appear. I'm not too sure though. I think we're still at the same biome. Yes, this is for the different biomes. So if we go further down, I'm assuming you may get probably the same settings for the dimension as well. Nope, still the same dimension with different biomes. I'm assuming there's a lot of biomes in these. There is, I guess, also some corrupted crater chance, large skeleton tree, campfire chance, outpost, so maybe some structures. You've got dimension color palette for sky color, grass color, fog, foliage, and stone, as well as other texture information if need be, and a few others to do with mobs, water vaporization, whether you can sleep in the dimension or not, whether it has a sky or skylight. The dimension chunk generator is similar to the overworld, not nether, and or a custom one. You've got the difficulty, civilization influences, not too sure on those. Surface builder, I'm assuming is maybe the surface of the dimension at 72 compared to 60-ish or so for the sea level of the overworld. I'm assuming that's the comparison there. To make its tool durability of 0 for certain materials or something. Sorry, how much durability is probably used on the tool and breaking stuff in it, I guess. And then we've got the next dimension and possibly similar stats and configs all the way throughout. So I'm going to repeat on those. And then you've now got dimension material related data, such as the ores. What type of stone will appear? I'm assuming... Actually, that's a target ID. Never mind. The ore count, which is probably the chance, or the... What class size is that? So that's a vein. I'm assuming that's the chance, and you got the minimum maximum amount of XP to be given upon breaking it. You've got the actual ID itself, texture specific information for the axe, hoe, sword, and shovel, helmet information, a helmet texture, a bunch of other textures for helmets, overlays, resource items, storage blocks, nuggets, fruits apparently, mining level, armor, a bunch of other things. I'm assuming you can probably tweak some of the stuff here that is related to the mod in general. With the ores, I'm not too sure on most of this stuff. Yeah, there is a fair amount of options here for textures, a bunch of things to tweak, food data, which I'm assuming is to do with the apples, and so on. I'm not sure if this is to do with spawning them, or them appearing in loot chests, or some other type of thing. I'm not 100% sure there. Otherwise though, we'll get to each of the different dimensions, as there is quite a lot. I am using the default version of the mod. I haven't tweaked anything, so we'll be able to see all the default dimensions that appear, instead of enabling for other ones that count for any of the other materials that aren't of the 20 that are available by default. So you've got the more portal, which is obviously more stone, and like so, and the rest throughout obviously, as we know. So I've got coordinates and the biome information, as you can see on the side. So you can get an idea of what has spawned and what each biome is like once you enter each one. So maybe a sort of ravine, no, just a sort of flying island sort of thing here, I'm not too sure. I mean, there's probably a lot to view within each of these biomes, so I'm not likely to find everything. And the heights do vary, so, as well as the trees. I'm not too sure what fluid that is either, which we'll have a look. Might be honey, I'm pretty sure, from a different mod, even though I don't have that in the game. Nope, just different coloured water. So, that's good to know. Mobs that are spawning, that spawn in vanilla typically. So, yeah. We'll also see if we can use a bed in this dimension. Which we can't, so it'll just explode. If we look even further, we've got a few different blocks. Got more stone. If we go in spectator, we should be able to see what the cave-like generation is besides the ravines. I'm assuming it may have more ore in here as well, besides just the stone, but I'm not too sure on that. It might be that that is just for accessing the dimension, and everything else is just more so, not ores, but certain other aspects, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So it converts to obsidian still, it seems? Yep. But, yeah, so go to more. You can probably see that, which is now part of it, besides cobblestone, chiseled, and so on. But again, we do have a lot of dimensions to get through. So go through each one. We can't visit every single biome. We'll try to cover at least the basic stuff, such as what each one looks like, as well as what the terrain and basic look of the biomes is like. So we're in biome number 5 here, with water, hills, and so on, with some moss stone and other things. And you can also just right click on the top and then be transported, I'm assuming, back to the overworld. Yep, so not the biome that you were in if you were in, sorry, the dimension you're in if you were, similar to others. So, like so. We'll show the cave generation underneath. So we get a bit of an idea. It has its specific stone and grass and other such things. Subam next. And it has to be the top of the block where you have to stand on it, I guess. You have to right click on the top. Got some purplish grass. We're in biome number 2 here. Some witches and pigs. Interesting types of trees. Some water there. Get an idea of the cave gen. Oops, next one. Which, while I might not have shown all the ores, it depends on the world gen, I feel, for this one. For the dimensions, since they will be so vastly different. And obviously I'm not going to go through all the stats, so because there is a lot to get through in those configs. Okay, so possibly okay, that's just underneath it in general. So probably similar, probably a bit different. Unless I use the same. No, it's a different one. I forgot. Let's see. So that is that, and the following sky color, as you can see. More of a cave-like one, this one. Unless it's just the way it ended up with us inside this system. So, nope, seems to be an underground one. So it probably has more nether also. I'm not sure if that was just the... might be the blocks, yeah. Is that snow or a particular... It is snow. The bedrock, and then the other underneath. So it's a more nether focused one. The terrain to gen like so. Certain stuff on the inside and such. With its own fluid. Next one. More overworld one. Like so. More sky dimension related one. With the odd cave systems, I'm assuming.